You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Redneck Island After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Redneck Island After Show.
Oh, wait, music. All right, there you go. That's the music intro. I love that song. You know what? For 3 seasons, I thought that was Steve Austin singing that song.
I was going to say that you did.
We didn't learn that that's not Steve till last week.
Oh, it's not his voice?
No. No. Mix and Rednecks. What a great theme song. My name's Little Egypt, and we are here to go over Redneck Island. We are your AfterBuzz hosts. With me, sitting next to me, I'll let you guys do your own intros so that our listeners can hear your voices.
Oh, hi guys. It's lovely to be back. I've missed the PPBoyz. We'll get to them in a second. My name is Liz, and it sounds really funny, like introducing myself. So I'm Liz. You should know me by now. Hiya, guys.
I'm Patrik.
I'm Paul Atteur.
How was New York? We missed you last week.
Fabulous.
You were gone for 10 days.
I know, a lot of work.
I was in a dark room for 45 minutes waiting for somebody to pick up the phone.
We were busy with Steve Austin.
Sorry.
I know you were. I could listen to the whole conversation.
Well, good. You're all caught up with what happened and what transpired.
Yes.
We just watched episode 9, which was titled "Varmints in a Tree." Okay, and that was a great episode. That started off with the whole thing imploding in episode 8. The Girls' Alliance imploded after Candy left, and it was left for Lindsay to discover that her neck is on the line, and she immediately started forming other alliances.
Right.
And through that, she decides that it's better to have Stacy go home than it is to put up one of the guys, Bucket and Cody. And what did you think of that strategy?
I thought it was good, actually.
Really?
I really did. I told you, Misty, I'm telling you, Misty's going to win. I said it from day one, and I thought it was good.
But do you want to be in the finals with 2 guys?
I want to be in the finals with any guy.
Bucket or Cody.
That's right. Bring it on.
No, I think the show before that we're talking about when Stacey and Candy left,
Right.
I think it was really interesting because, like we said last week, it was a girls' alliance up till that point, and I think you can't trust anybody, and I'm sorry, I think it's more exciting the way that it's turned out. Don't you? Get some of the girls home. I just think it's very unfortunate for Candy. I mean, we're going to be speaking to her a little while. She's on the phone, isn't she? But I think it was very unfortunate for Candy, and I think if she hadn't had that eating challenge, she'd still be here, right? Mm-hmm. Because I think she was very strong on forming the alliances, and I don't think people would have. Mind you, it was funny when they were shooting and throwing the pebbles on the names, they did go for Candy, so she could have actually had a name on cans too, right?
Well, that's a good point. That was Misty's strategy. I don't even know what Misty was thinking, but back in episode 8, or do we have Candy on the line? Okay, let's bring Candy on the line, because who better to talk to than Candy right now about what's happened. Hey, Candy, are you there?
Hey, y'all.
Hey, wow, it's lovely to actually speak to you. I think I owe you a bit of an apology because I thought you were quite bitchy, and I think I said that last week, so I hope it didn't offend you.
Hi, Candy.
Is she still?
Hi, how y'all doing?
We're good, Candy.
Fine, honey. I'm not even worried about it.
Oh, good. See, rednecks, you are tough people, aren't you? You don't get offended easily.
Well, because when it's from Liz, it's coming from the heart. The big one she's got.
Well,
Because you guys do have
personal when people say things, because there's no point. It don't bother me not one bit.
Well,
Candy, you weren't offended when I said that I thought you were playing with your boobs, right? From the beginning? Because I really thought in the very beginning that was like...
well, our girlfriend here, Liz, she always does that. So, I mean, it's what we had to look, it's what we know. And I love those boobs, Liz.
I was just working with what my mama gave me. I mean, I figured if I had them, I might as well use them, right?
Good girl.
Yeah.
And anytime you're in LA, where are you now anyway?
Honey, I'm in Alabama. I'm far from LA, but I would love to come there because I'm always ready for a good time.
Well, if you're ready for a good time, come on over and bring the girls with you because we're ready to party.
Hey, party over here.
We could take you places I don't think you've ever been to.
Oh, my God.
Okay, and now.
Candy, I want to ask you. You were probably, besides Woodle, my next favorite to watch play this game, and there were some moments in your history on Redneck Island that made me laugh, that made me impressed. You called everybody out who got in your face when, as early as when Joe called you out at the fire pit, when Bucket called you out, when people were calling you out during the eliminations, you stood your ground and you didn't let anyone walk all over you. And there was some really funny moments that made me laugh watching you gobble up a chicken wing.
Yeah.
Those moments right there is why I fell in love with you. Tell me about your.
Well, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Now you saw B-Mart last night. She was kind of blown away that the Girls Alliance was totally destroyed, and they didn't even consult her when they were putting Stacy's name on the bottle. What did you think about when all that was going down?
Well, my opinion on it is that B-Mart should have known from the beginning. I mean, I get it. She's friends with Cody. She didn't want to hurt his feelings and, didn't want to vote him off. However, I mean, in the end, he went there to win money. I didn't go there to make friends. I mean, I thank God I did make friends, and I made some friends that I'll be able to, have for the rest of my life. But I went there to win $100,000, and if that means I got to write a name on a can, then by God, I'm writing a name on the can. I didn't go there for that, and I feel like if B-Mart would have been, I guess, playing the game more for herself and not so worried about like her friendship with Cody outside of that, then she would have been able to see that, okay, in order for me to win this, I have got to vote him off, because in the end, he didn't care about her feelings. You know what I mean? She should have just voted with the girls.
But if she had voted Cody off, then she would have been voted off before, and not had lasted as long as she did, because I think Cody's the one that kind of. If she
would have voted him off, I agree with that. If she would have voted him off before, but I'm talking about when it got down to just us four girls.
Oh yeah, in the very end,
she got rid of one of them, like Bucket or Cody, because Misty was going to stay with her because she figured that me and Lindsay, and then Stacy, she thought Stacy was in with me and Lindsay too. So Misty had B-Mart's back, and they could have, worked together. In the end, I couldn't have beat Cody anyway, so I wasn't about to try to keep him.
Are you still thinking that Bucket's going to be the winner?
What now, baby? I'm sorry.
Are you still thinking that Bucket is going to be the winner?
I don't know if Bucket's going to be the winner. I hope that bastard's not the winner after he cussed me out, but
Candy,
he is.
Candy, who do you want to win?
I hope he's not, though. I don't know. Hell, it sucks. It sucks not winning, but, what can I do?
Who do you want to win?
His lips.
Candy, who do you want to win?
Honestly, I want Lindsay to win it. I hope she wins it all. Lindsay is just, she reminds me a lot like myself in the sense that she was there to play the game. She's a very tough competitor. She's good at strategy. I'm just more prissy than she is. But as far as a person, like, she's such a sweet person and just good-hearted, and I really hope she wins that money.
Can we talk about Lindsay in last night's show where she just bit the eye off that crab? What did you think of that?
She is for real country. I mean, I'm like a little Southern Belle. I'm more like, if you see my Facebook and stuff like that, my hair's big and curled. I love makeup. My nails be done.
I've seen it. I was gonna say, Candy, some of them on the show actually said that you're not a real redneck, didn't they? How do you feel about that?
I feel like they can kiss my redneck ass. I mean, I'm country, and I'm like a little Southern Belle. I don't go hunting because I have a daddy and a brother to do that. Why would I hunt? I stay at home and I cook the deer meat. That's what country women do. I mean, I'm not against hunting, but it's just not my thing. I don't like to sweat. Why would I sweat when I don't have to? Makes no sense to me.
Candy, when you're watching like Lindsay bite off the head of a crab, and you're watching these guys play these games because they're bored with their time on the island, were you experiencing that, or did the time fly for you?
The time did not fly for me, not one bit, because when I got the infection in my knees, I couldn't do anything, and I really wanted to be able to like lay out on the beach. I wanted to go, do something.
The important
and
thing.
I couldn't do anything because I couldn't be out in the sun like with my knees. So it sucked. Time did not fly by for me. It went by so slow.
But you're a great.
Up until I got hurt.
You're a great actress, I have to tell you. Your performances were great.
I appreciate it. You need to get me on a sitcom.
Candy, I was going to say, on the last challenge, when they all kind of turned against you and started going for your name, did that come as a surprise to you, and did that hurt you?
I wasn't surprised because I figured Misty, I'm just going to be honest, me and Misty did not see eye to eye. She's not somebody I would associate myself with in real life. But this is a numbers game, and you've got to have the numbers. And whenever I made the alliance with Lindsay, I knew that she was already tight with Misty. So there was no way for me to get her to vote Misty off, and I knew I just had to roll with it. But as far as me hanging out with her, I would never go out in public with that girl.
Do you know that Patrick's favorite girl since day one has been Misty, and she's the only one still in the game because all our competitors have been voted off.
No, I was always Bucket, remember?
No, you are not. You switch. You flip-flop.
No. I
You
was Bucket
flip-flop.
from week one.
No, you
Go
flip-flop.
back.
No,
I
no,
liked
no.
the first girl, and she got voted off the first show.
And then you
remember?
picked somebody else.
No. I said Bucket and that girl.
Okay,
and I
wait,
can't
that
remember
girl?
her name now.
Oh, okay, wait.
Amnesty, I'm so sorry.
Candy, why wouldn't you hang out? Why wouldn't you associate with Misty?
Yeah, she's sweet.
I want to know.
She's just not somebody I would. You know how you meet people and either you click with them or you don't. Well, I'm not the kind of person to meet somebody and just be like, fake. You know what I mean? Either I click with you or I don't, and we just didn't click.
But did she like do things against you, or you just didn't
No,
click?
she never did nothing to me as far as she's just not my cup of tea.
So Candy, she said you called her white trash. That's probably not a good way to make friends.
Yeah, but that's what they are.
Whoa!
That is not a good way.
Isn't that
to make
what it is?
No way! Holy cow!
I'm going to come over there, Mr.
Well, listen,
when I'm going to put you in your place.
I'm married to a redneck, but I'm not very, my vernacular on
Diplomatic?
Very.
So Candy, Misty took offense to that, and when she had the chance to get you out during that food elimination, man, she went right for you. I mean, she couldn't give a rat's ass about a alliance. She wanted you out, and what?
And I don't blame her. I did call her white trash, and that was rude. It was very rude of me to say that. But
I'm with her.
If the shoe fits, then wear it. No, I'm just kidding.
That's right. See, and that's my point. You're calling out something that you see is to be accurate. You're not trying to make it demeaning.
I'm very blunt. I'm very honest.
Absolutely.
That's just like Joe when he went out off on me. I'm not married to Joe. I'm not his wife. So I'll be damned if I'm going to get up and wash his dishes and do for him. I'm not married to him.
Okay,
Who do you think he is?
So Candy, if Misty wins the 100,000, are you going to congratulate her or not?
I'm not a sore loser, so if she wins it, I will. I'm not going to say congratulations to her. My mom always said, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all, and I should have listened to her a long time ago, so I'm just not going to say nothing to her at all.
Good
to be
job.
honest, that's what I'm going to do.
Candy, what would you do if you went back on the island? What would you do differently?
If I could go back on there,
Yeah.
the first day that Misty did not swim to the ladder and all that crap, and I would have voted her off then. I would have been like, look, she's not a good competitor. Because honestly, throughout the whole thing, I never thought she was a good competitor. She Well, I mean, she did do good with the burrito thing or whatever, and did hit my plate. But before that, I really don't feel like she was that athletic. And
So what's the
I
most?
would have voted her off.
What's the most important thing when you're on the island and you go in with an idea or a notion as to how you think you're going to play the game, and then midway things change? What changes? What is it that takes you in a different direction, or your gameplay becomes totally different than what you expected?
Oh my goodness, you're always paranoid. Like, you're always paranoid, and you'll see people talking, and you don't know if they're just hanging out because they're good friends. Like me and Woodle, I love Woodle. I talked to Woodle and cut up with her the entire time I was there, and that potentially could have hurt me because people was like, well, why are you talking to her all the time? And so, I mean, you never know who's working with who, and then everybody gets so paranoid and go to backstabbing each other, and it's stressful. It's a 24-hour job is what it is.
So it's like
it ain't no relaxation on the island, that's for sure.
It's like a 24-hour business meeting as well, isn't it? It's kind of, are they doing a deal? Are they doing a deal?
Yeah.
So, Candy, I have to ask you, when I was watching you eat that burrito, okay, was it really as bad as it looked? Did it smell? Did it taste rancid? I mean, you were about ready to vomit.
Do you like eating things with flies on it? There was flies all over it. And then, I mean, I'm a pretty clean person. I like things to be nice and neat and clean, and my food and all that kind of mess. I'm from the country, but I don't eat stuff off dirt floors, and there was flies all over that. And then the texture was awful. It was just ridiculous. And honestly, y'all, my throat, it's like it just closed up, and I couldn't swallow nothing.
Okay,
And then I just started, every time I would swallow, it would come back up. I would start throwing up. It was disgusting.
We obviously saw you like retching at the time. What was your body like after, within the next 24 hours? I have to ask, because I always think if ever I was on a show, that's the part I couldn't do myself, right? So I always wonder, what are the repercussions? Like, are you ill for 24 hours? I need to know this.
I don't think you have enough time.
You are so ill. You're so, oh my goodness. I always watched Fear Factor. Me and my daddy used to watch Fear Factor like growing up. And I would always be like, well, that ain't nothing. They should have just ate that. And you think that it's nothing to it. But when you get to that moment, you're trying to eat that food. And I was an idiot. And I was like, well, if I open my burrito and just eat all the filling, then I can just eat the bread. Honey, that was so disgusting. I should just closed my little green eyes and tried to eat that mess. But
How long was it out in the sun? Like, did they prepare?
The sun was awful. It was terrible. And then the beer they gave us to drink down with, it wasn't even cold. Hey, still, ain't nobody got time for that.
Was that the worst challenge, or what was the worst challenge?
Well, I think it was the worst for Candy. She got out.
Yeah, but what was the worst thing that you did there, do you think? That?
The worst thing that I did there, honestly, was having to eat that food. Like, I'm pretty tough. My knees was hurting me during challenges and stuff, but I can deal with that little bit of pain for however long. It's not too long. I can deal with that and then rewrap my knees. But I just couldn't eat that mess. I got a weak stomach, and
Well, Philip told us that he couldn't eat the cookies and shoved them in the milk because he had an abscessed tooth that they never showed, so we had no idea. So that's why I think we're always amazed at what they put you through, and then you have to be able to pull through and do what you do, and then we're like, well, what really happened? Because we never know.
Yeah.
I mean, Candy,
no, you don't. That's just like the fishing. Everybody's like, she's not a redneck because she can't fish. Honey, I'm not a dumbass. Okay? Whenever I was out there, I knew better than to act like I could fish because I was already a threat. So I wanted to look dumb and like a bimbo.
Well, Candy, if you hadn't had the eating challenge, the shady burrito, I think you'd still be in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
I do too. I feel like if I could have just ate that mess, I'd have been good.
So,
because me and Stacy and Lindsay would have stuck together. And I feel like we could have got B-Mart or Misty won, and we could have voted off one of the guys. But
I mean, you're watching this.
Not how the cards fell.
Yeah, Candy, you're watching this, right? And as soon as you go, right, you're watching this play out on TV. The Girls Alliance implodes, and out goes Stacy. I mean, what were you thinking when you saw that?
I was so shocked. I honestly thought. Just because, I thought the girls were smarter than that, which I understand Lindsay had to make the lines with Bucket and them because Misty and B-Mart were going to get rid of her if she hadn't. So, but the other girls, I was just thinking, are these fools? They know they can't beat these guys in the end. I don't know why they didn't stick with the girlfriend. But I don't know what they was thinking, honey. I ain't crazy. I'd have kept with the girls because I couldn't have beat Cody for sure.
Who do you think deserves to win?
Honestly, I feel like either Cody or Lindsay deserves to win. Cody is such a sweet guy. He has just really good manners. He's like a little Southern gentleman. And Lindsay, she's good-hearted, and they both are tough competitors. And they didn't ride nobody's coattail to get there, and they have proven themselves to be tough, and they should be in the end of me. I hope and pray to God that one of them come home with it, but mostly Lindsay because, I was in an alliance with her.
Candy, I have to ask you this. You are not a big fan of Bucket. I have called Bucket out a few times throughout this process where I've seen him bully Travis, even though I'm not a fan of Travis. And I've seen him call, he called you names. Girl. That's such an ungentlemanly thing to do. And then what is your take on Bucket? They're kind of everyone that we've heard of. Everyone loves Bucket. Am I not seeing something? Is he really a good guy?
Oh, goodness. I knew you were going to ask this. Let's see. Not that I want to put anybody down or anything, but Bucket, to me, he's likable because he is funny at times. And, and he is a likable guy. But I just, how do I say this? Supposedly he's a big Christian. That's what he told us when he came on the island. And, you're not supposed to judge anybody's faith and nothing like that, but if you have such a godly family and in church and stuff, you don't get drunk every day on an island at 40-something years old. And you just don't.
Yeah, but there's nothing else to do.
And they don't.
Well, yeah,
that says it all.
There's nothing else to do.
That says it all.
No, but
I get that. And then talking to women like the way he talked to me, you don't tell a woman F you and call him the names he called me, which is fine though, because I don't never even have to see him again. It's not a big deal to me. But I don't care for him like everybody else does. But that's just my personal opinion. Other people might love him to death. But
so all the parts that you think we've seen on TV that since you've been out that you've been watching, do you think they show him in a better light than he really, really is? Because Travis told us, that he was just acting things out, and it never really happened the way it did, and he was just totally different than what really was portrayed. So is that the same thing with Bucket?
I do feel that way. I don't think he's as good of a guy as he comes off on TV.
Interesting.
Why do you think they're using that angle on him? Because there's something that they know that you can see different, or they're highlighting for a reason?
Maybe he wins it.
Yeah, that's
They have to edit it
interesting.
this way.
I don't know. I don't know why they're making him. I don't know. But he really is funny though. He is. But Bucket's the kind to me. Or for me, like he's funny to an extent, and then he just gets annoying.
Well, you know what? And he's not only just funny, but when things don't go his way, he's a bully.
Oh, he's a dick when things don't go his way. For sure.
Well, tell us how you really feel, because that's how I am.
Sorry, can I not say that word?
No, you're fine.
Absolutely. Please share more.
I'm so sorry.
No, don't be sorry, because if that's how you feel, and we're not editing any of this out. So let's go back to what you were watching last night. Steve had prepared a series of what they call challenges, which you were involved in. Mm-hmm. Did that challenge look hard yesterday with the grease and the big the seesaw?
Yeah.
It did. It did look like it to me. But I think I would have been pretty good at it. I'm good. I just can't eat. But anything else, I'm pretty athletic. Like I cheered in college and played softball growing up and stuff, and so I think I would have been pretty good at it.
I guess I didn't understand why the one person had to go fill it up and then walk all the way to the other end of the plaque.
I'm glad you're asking that, because
I'm thinking,
they all had buckets.
Yeah,
so why didn't they all fill the bucket
down?
It's called a challenge.
I know, but I'm like, why don't you guys all fill the bucket, pass it down, fill the bucket, pass it down, so that it's faster, because you're already up there.
But I don't think they can.
And then go to the other side and fill it.
Paul,
You would have been half the time, and you would have had the rare.
I don't think you can do that. I think there's certain challenges and there's rules for each challenge, right, Candy?
Oh, please.
Wait.
No, hold on. Let's ask Angelina, because she had her best friend here last week. Did he say how they decide on the challenges?
I think he made it very clear that he picks all the challenges, and he comes up with all the.
Doesn't. He said that he's not involved in that process.
Poll was on hold.
Thank you, Liz.
If Poll was on hold for 45 minutes, he should have known that answer.
Wait. My
I
question.
was trying to see what you were going to come up with.
My
He was
question.
probably in the minibar at that point.
I was so
Straightening his
bored
hair.
hanging out.
Okay, my question,
But
Candy,
anyway.
is when you have a challenge, when they give you a challenge on Redneck Island, don't they have specific rules for that challenge? So, an example, the seesaw. Why? Paul and Liz are saying, why didn't they all just do it a certain, all join together? But
No.
don't they have rules of how you can
No,
do it?
Yeah,
and
no,
can't
they
do
give
it?
you rules before
Yeah,
every
of course.
challenge. You
Yeah.
they tell you, this is the challenge you're going to be doing.
Okay,
And
so
then
what do you
these
think?
are the rules.
Let me
And
ask you
so
this.
We sign a form, and we do it.
So what's the rule? That every single person had to fill their bucket by walking back and forth to the plank?
Depends.
No.
It depends on the challenge.
That
It just
could be
depends on
wrong.
what
No.
challenge it is. I mean, because there's the challenges. Some of them, you can do things differently, like you were saying with the buckets, and it would be so much easier and faster and all that stuff. But in the guidelines and the rules, you might not be able to do it that way.
If I was smart and if I was Lindsay or Misty, you know what I would have done? I would have dropped my bucket and oiled that entire thing and had them slip and slide right off of there.
Are you
because
kidding?
Then, yes, because then we wouldn't have
I
eaten.
would have too.
Yeah, because they wouldn't have eaten. They would have been pissed off, and they would have been going at it while I sat back and watched it happen. And then it come to elimination, I'd be like,
Actually,
oh,
no.
well, I had to
no.
flip.
If you would have done that, then they would have voted you off because you spilled the oil all
No,
over
it wouldn't have
everything.
been my bucket that
I
was
know,
spilled.
but Paul-
It was somebody else's bucket.
Paul, you'd have to take off your high heels to do a challenge like that. I'm sorry.
But you've seen me with a sledgehammer, so you know I can come through on anything.
I think all of
Not a
America and
problem.
Bravo has
Yes.
seen you with a sledgehammer
Yes,
and a
so
black marker.
High heels or otherwise, I'd be no problem.
Well, so after this, right, it turns out it's pretty obvious that B-Mart has a huge target on her back. It's up to Lindsay really to convince Bucket now at this point. And here's Lindsay's strategy with Bucket. She says, I voted Stacy out for you. And for some reason, Bucket had this thing that he just despised Stacy for putting Brandon's name on a bottle, when yet he did the same thing. It was so hypocritical during the elimination. I mean, what was his excuse? He had to put B-Mart's name, and he looked right at her and he lied. Why is it okay for Bucket to lie and not Stacy?
Well, Bucket had to choose one. He made a promise to
But that's
both.
the thing.
Right.
Like, even when he told us, like, we were all in the cabins and our little huts or whatever, and he said, I wouldn't put your name on a can, your name. And I was like, you dumbass. Eventually, you're going to have to put one of
Yeah.
their names on a can.
Right.
Like, you're going to have to.
He
So don't
overpromised.
sit there and judge other people for doing it. That's what you came here for.
But that's the game, isn't it? I mean, you've
But
got
maybe-
to.
Exactly. It's a game.
I think at the end of the day, with Redneck, I think the liar will win. Well, they're all having to lie. They have to. You've got to be good at lying.
They have
and
to.
Yeah, but
dodging.
B-Mar,
To survive, they have to.
B-Mar was sleeping with the boys too, so I think that was her mistake because she shouldn't have been in the
Hell,
boys'
I
house.
Careful how you say
lied
Yeah.
I lied a couple of times to some people and didn't care. I didn't go there to keep my word or however Brandon was saying, I'm a man of my word. Shut up and go on somewhere. You shouldn't have came on here. You need to go home.
Candy, can I ask you, B-Mart, what's her personality like? Because it took me weeks to even acknowledge her or get to know her. It was very difficult for me to warm to her. But then in the last show, I did warm to her.
Honestly, B-Mart is such a sweet person. She is a blast, and she's always going ham. Like, she's just always acting crazy and drinking, and she's fun as hell to be around. I just think the world of her. She's really a nice person.
I can tell that all of you liked her because obviously her shady burrito was the easiest to eat, wasn't it? There was nothing in there.
No, she's just really good-hearted. She's real sweet.
Yeah, and I think that's probably why she's actually ended up being voted out, because she is actually too nice. I don't think she's...
She felt like she was blindsided at the end because she didn't think that Bucket was going to go back on his word. Because
I think
it
she's
was,
really sweet.
Yeah, I think you could see the tears that she had were genuine, and she really
I think
did
they were genuine
feel.
for sure, because she
Yeah.
was. I don't think she expected to get voted out.
No,
I mean,
no.
Cody is
She
supposed
was-
to be one of her best friends, and then Bucket, was along with him, and I think she just thought she was golden for, with the guys. So,
I think she
clearly,
was she was hurt, if nothing else. It wasn't even so much the game. I think when Bucket decided to switch on her,
Yeah.
she felt hurt that he actually went against what he had promised several times.
So when we're talking about B-Mart, you know, she was the one that went after you in that challenge. As soon as Misty made her first strike to get you out of that eating challenge, B-Mart was right behind her. What was she thinking? That didn't even make sense.
I think they should stick with the girl plan. However, I understand it. If I was one of them going against me, hell, I would have wanted me out. Because I really did feel like I was not trying to toot my own horn, but beat. I think I was a good competitor. I was strong, and I feel like they just felt like if they went up in a challenge against me, that they couldn't beat me. Not saying that every one of them, but, you know, I won a lot of them against the girls, and I'd already beat B. Martin a tug-of-war thing, and then Misty's a lot smaller than me. I mean, I'm a bigger girl than they are, and I just felt like they thought it was best to get me out.
If you were still there, and you were going to be final 2, and you're going to be going up on the last challenge to win the money, who would you want to go up against? Who do you, I mean, is it you want to go up against a strong competitor and prove yourself to be a worthy opponent? Or do you want to be like, you know what? She's like a little butterfly. She can't even swim. She'd be drowning. What's it going to be?
I have 2 answers for that. If I could pick, I would have loved to have went up against Lindsay just because it would have been nice to make it to the finals with her because me and her, you know, were in an alliance together, and I would have loved to have made it to the end with her. It would have been not so easy trying to beat her, though, because she is very tough, and it would have been, you know, a lot harder.
Because you felt like a sisterhood.
I kind of wished it was Misty I could go up against because I feel like it wouldn't have been no competition, and why would I want to work harder than I got to?
So,
remember, they said I was lazy.
Candy, I've got a question. Did you never think to kind of do some deals on the money with other people? Because if it was me, I'd say, listen, if you and I are down to the final 2,
we can split the money.
If I win it, I'll give you 15,000. If you win, you give me 50. Did you never think to do a deal on the money?
And see, that sounds amazing, don't it? Like, that sounds so good. But we're actually not allowed to do that. So
that's a rule. I'm sure it's a rule.
Yeah, but it doesn't wait.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be money coming out of the winnings. It could be money coming out of your account.
You can't do that.
Who knows?
Survivor, that's a big deal too. You can't do that.
No.
I got 50,000 coming out of my account. If Patrice would get on his work and call somebody and get me out in LA, I might.
Well, if Patrik gets off his ass and starts working, making sure you get a gig, I got a dress for you that'll fill up those girls beautifully. Liz,
have you? 5 minute heels on, and I'll do the damn thing. So
have you seen Liz's?
I'm waiting.
You have to go to Facebook and go to Liz's Facebook. Liz Fuller, and you'll be able to see her girls sashaying on the red carpet at the Emmy Awards in Las Vegas.
Yeah, Candy, I'll take you to a red carpet event, and we'll go and pull out his
please, honey, I love to get all dressed up. For real, I love all the different hair and makeup, nails, and all that stuff. Love it.
Good.
You know, when we watch you guys play this game, one of the things that I know I would be an epic fail at is these reckoning events. And last night we were watching this reckoning where they had to climb.
That was
basically
brilliant.
Oh my God,
I love that.
That was easy
I would
to
have
me.
flown off at the end.
It was
Candy,
easy.
did it look tough because there was like 3 levels and platforms, and then they'd have to jump at the end? How did that look to you?
She's a gymnast.
It didn't look like that stuff that is back. Well, you just said it. You took the words out of my mouth. I've done gymnastics since I was like 10 years old. So
she's a cheerleader. Flipping.
Oh, wow. Well, you know what? Okay, so Bucket, when he came in at 2:30, I thought, oh my gosh, that's a great time. And then Misty at 3:33.
Oh, wasn't Misty lucky that she didn't get eliminated? Because most of the time you're eliminated, right? The last few shows. So she was really lucky.
3:33.
I was like, dang it, why didn't they have that time? I was hoping they would, but they didn't.
Yeah. Were you surprised by Lindsay? I mean, she was just 1 second away from Cody.
I'm telling y'all, but the thing about Lindsay is Lindsay actually runs. What in the world is that noise? Lindsay actually runs.
It's Bucket outside your door.
She goes out and runs so many miles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So she's got a lot of endurance as far as, you know, she don't get winded and stuff because she's so used to working out.
I actually think
she's tough. She's very tough.
I think Lindsay's going to get down to the final 2 with Bucket. Now, that's my prediction. And I tell you what, when I saw her eat the eye of that live crab for me, and the way she was
She's
climbing.
just like, she is scheming.
She's
She
going
sees
all
the
the way.
money. That's right.
She's going all the
She
way.
is a smart cookie, that's for sure.
I don't think she'll be afraid to bury any of them either. She'll be like, I've already got a little.
Yeah.
So, Candy, do you have any regrets that if you could have done anything different?
You know, I don't live my life with regrets, and I don't have not one regret, because it is what it is, and I feel like God has a plan for everybody. I wasn't meant to win the money. However, you know, somebody else might need it more than me or something, so I got to come back home. I have a great family and stuff, and, I mean, it was a good opportunity, a good chance, and I don't have no regrets, though.
Can you go back
I
again?
just wish that my knees wouldn't have got hurt. I'm lying. I got one regret. I wish I would have wore them damn knee pads when I did that challenge, and my knees wouldn't have been messed up, and I wouldn't have been on antibiotics. So yes, I have one regret. I wish I would have worn knee pads.
So would you like audition again, or did somebody refer you to go on, or how did that all work out for you?
Heck
Anyway?
yeah, I'd do it again. I have a friend that was on Sweet Home Alabama.
Sweet Home
Y'all
Alabama,
remember that show?
Yeah.
the movie.
Okay, well, he was on that, and it was on his Facebook. And so I was talking to my mom about it, and Mom said, you ought to apply for that. And I was like, okay. So I just went on there, and I asked Miss Kim about it, the lady. I was like, hey, what does this all entail? And she told me, and she said, I'd love to do a Skype interview with you. And so we ended up doing a Skype interview, and, honey, they called me back, and I was like, did you dial the right number? Are you sure? And they did. Told me they wanted me to come to L.A. And I was like, hey, I'm coming to L.A. And I went.
This was your first experience at doing something of this nature?
It was. I've always done pageants and stuff like that. And but besides, like, going to L.A., honey, I've never been to L.A.
So
But it was not even, I didn't get to go do nothing because we had to stay locked up in our rooms and do a bunch of interviews and pictures. And I want to come to L.A. and party, honey. I'm trying to see the city.
Candy, what's next for you? What do you want to do now?
Well, you know, Little Egypt, I'm trying to get in touch with this really amazing talent producer named Patrice. And if I can ever get him to get me on something, I want to do something like Reba or, you know, like I want to be on a sitcom. That's really what I want to do.
Well, Candy,
but if not, I just stay here in Alabama and hopefully get married one day and just live my simple little life.
Yeah, Candy, I think that you really want to get a hold of Patrik, not Patrice.
Because that's why you're not getting. That's why he's not calling you back.
Oh, goodness, I'm so sorry. No wonder Patrice ain't trying to call me back because I'm calling Patrice.
You're calling the wrong person. It's Patrik.
I wanted to name you Trixie or something. Like I wanted to give you my own little personal name for you.
Oh, Candy, that's for me every night. You can't be taking my job.
I'm so sorry. I felt a bond with us. You know, like me and Woodle, I call her Woodle Baby. And so I've been calling you Trixie to her. I'm like, have you called her Trixie lately? So I done gave you your own little name to do. I'm so sorry.
Boo boo, you have your own name.
So seriously, that's what you want to do. You want to do more TV then?
Seriously, I really do. Like, I would love to be an actress. And my mama is always like, honey, them fake tears and all that mess, you need to be an actress. I really think I would be pretty good at it, for real.
I could see you on a soap opera. Oh, my goodness, I can't believe it.
Me and you both, I want to be on, like, As the World Turns. Like, I would just, make my day.
Well, you know, not Patrice, but Patrik has many friends on all those soap operas, like Patrik Adarbo, Nadia Bjorlin. If you Google them, you'll see.
Hopefully, Patrice will shed some light on me and show me some love and get back with me.
I have a feeling, Candy, you're going to be coming out to LA soon. Maybe you should come and sit in the studio here.
Yeah, why don't you? Don't you got any family friends? Yeah, right? I think AFTERBUZZ flies them out.
We wanted to get our own talk show, but then we was like, well, what are we going to talk about? So
you know what? I would email the producers at AFTERBUZZ and have them fly you out, because I think they've done that for many people.
Oh, yeah.
Have they really? Well, I'm going to need them to get on it. I'm for a good time. Don't tip me or tease me with a good time now.
We ain't going nowhere.
So right now you're still working at Hooters, right? Are you getting your fill of chicken wings?
I work at Hooters. Have I what now?
Have you gotten your fill of chicken wings?
Well, yes, ma'am. But the best thing I've gotten since I've been home has got to be my mama's fried chicken. Like, my mama.
That's nice.
So
is
that's
it-
the best thing I've had since I've been back home.
Is Hooters busier?
tea.
Hooters must be busier because everybody's coming in there to see you, right?
Oh my goodness, Hooters is very busy, and I have random. You know, on the island we don't have outlets or nothing to do our hair, so I look completely different. Like, my hair and everything done, my makeup. Because I ain't gonna lie, I don't wake up looking like this every day. You know what I mean? I know.
You mean you're not like the rest of us?
It's like you, Paul. You don't quite look like that first thing in the morning, do
I
you?
sure do.
So people come in here and they're like, "Hey, you ever watch Redneck Island?" And I'm like, "Yes, sir." "You look just like that girl Candy on there." I know, except I got on some makeup and the hair's curled, right? And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Honey, that's me. That is me on Redneck Island." "Oh my goodness, can I take a picture with you?" I'm like, "You sure can."
So, Candy, you need to be a bit more natural. Go with less makeup, you'll get bigger tips.
Yeah, are you getting bigger tips from because of being on Rednecks? Not tips.
You know, it's
I'm actually getting
Any bigger and she's gonna
a lot
explode.
of pictures taken. That's what I'm getting. I get it. I only work at Hooters like 2 days a week. My family, my aunt owns a convenience store, so I actually open that every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So I actually have 2 jobs, but I mean,
So
she don't
everybody
really make me
knows-
work hard, so it's
everybody
not like I do a
knows where to
whole lot
find
there.
you, right, Candy?
You know what, Candy? I have to. As we're talking about your breasts, I have to tell
My
you
breasts?
we saw your little bio in the very first episode, and it talked about how if you won $100,000, you would want it to go towards a boob job. Your boobs are beautiful. Why did you feel like you needed them to be any bigger?
Because she wants to
Honey,
be
let me
Anna
tell you,
Nicole
this
Smith.
is hilarious.
Okay,
He
let's
asked
hear it.
me in the like our little interviews. There was a guy standing there, and I joke a lot. Like I joke a lot, and he was like, the lady said, "So if you win the $100,000, what are you gonna do with it?" And I said, "Get a boob job, of course." And so the little guy looked over at my boobs, and I was like, "Ha ha, I made you look." Well, I just made him look at my boobs just to joke with him because he looked so just. You know, he needed a smile. He needed some laughter in his life.
Well-
And so I did that and actually put it for my bio. And
Candy,
I
we're
don't know,
gonna-
y'all, after I have children and things start going south and like my boobs are all messed up, I'm getting implants. I'm not walking around with saggy
Candy,
titties.
we'd love to
I
talk
have
about your
implants.
boobs some more, but we have another guest we've got to bring on.
We do. Maybe we'll come back to you. Candy, keep listening. Maybe we'll come back to you. But I think
Yes.
we need to give some time to Stacey,
Yeah.
otherwise our producers are going to go
Oh,
nuts
yeah,
here.
Yes.
go ahead. I love Stacey Lynn. So I said, hey, y'all.
Thank you very much
Bye,
for coming
Candy.
Thank y'all. Y'all have a good afternoon. Good night.
on. All right.
So Stacey actually has to use the same line to call in on. So while we're waiting for Stacey to call, tell me what your thoughts were about the elimination when Bucket's sitting there. Okay, I know
Well,
you're a Bucket fan,
yeah.
but he's sitting there during the elimination, right?
Well, he made 2 promises, didn't he? And he
Yeah.
had to choose. But he chose well, I think, because he broke up an alliance of Cody and B-Mart that he could never have come in between if he was down to the final 3. He was very clever, I think, with that.
Besides, there was no way.
So right.
I love his line though when he said, I wrote it down, "Floaters get flushed," and he's a floater, and I thought that was great.
Well,
So
he was never-
He was basically, he knew he had to pick a side, and I kind of knew that he was gonna go that way. I kind of felt that.
Is it because of the alliance that B-Mart and Cody
Yeah.
had,
Yeah.
and it was like, this is my chance. I'm going
Yes.
to break up that
No.
alliance.
I feel
think,
that, yeah.
I
I
think,
think
so, too.
I think Bucket is in a better place now because Cody and Beemar aren't going to be able to scheme against him. He's going to be able to be in an alliance with Cody right now to be able to get Lindsay out and then get Misty out, and then it's them two at the end to try to win the money.
I
Do
still
you think
it's-
Cody and Bucket at the end?
Yes.
You think it's Cody and Bucket?
Because Cody is gonna want to get Lindsay out, and Bucket's gonna go okay, or Bucket's gonna want, because he knows he's gonna end up being one man standing.
No, I
at
think the next
end.
thing is they're gonna try. I think they're gonna get Cody out.
I think you're right.
I think they're going to get Cody out, and it's going to come down to Bucket and Misty.
I agree with you because I think Cody was so strong. You know, he was the safest.
Yep.
So
I think
Lindsay
you're
would
right.
go
And
up
Bucket
against
knows
Bucket.
he can't win against Cody.
They're going to get Cody and Lindsay out. They're going to try and get Cody and
Yeah.
Lindsay out next, and I think it'll be Cody.
So
out.
let's talk about that final episode. The first 2 seasons of Redneck Island, it was always down to 2 competitors,
Yeah.
and they would go through this obstacle course, and the winner would get the $100,000.
Right.
Now they're starting the last episode with 4 cast members. Do you think all 4 of them are going to be in some type of an obstacle course?
No.
Because it looked like they were all in the water. Do you think there's?
I think there'll be an elimination within the first 10, 15 minutes
Yeah, I think
of one.
so. Yeah.
And then they'll do the next one.
Yeah.
Whoever's left over is
3.
going to be the ending.
Wow. So who is your pick for the final 2? And then who do you want to see win it?
I'd like to see Lindsay and Bucket go up head to head. And I've always been Bucket all the way, but now I'm warming to Misty. I think, wow, she's done really well to survive so long. I mean, she's a little kind of cute little button, isn't she? And I think she's done really well to go as far as she has. But will she go all the way? We don't know.
She's flown under the radar all the way through, but I think she's a strong player.
Yeah, obviously she's
yeah.
lasted, right?
Yep.
I mean, Candy was saying she's not a great competitor, right? That's what Candy just
Yeah.
said. But actually she is. She's lasted longer than Candy.
Who really deserves the money, though? Who needs the money the most?
I don't know them well enough. Do you? I mean,
Well, Lindsay has a family, and she wants the money for the family.
I think everybody needs
too, right? Misty has kids.
everybody. Come on, everybody needs money nowadays, you know?
Yeah.
Everybody does. We all live in a hard society, and even if somebody makes out they have money, they probably have bigger bills. Come on, we don't know them well enough to answer that, I don't think.
Well, I don't know if Stacy's going to call in. It doesn't look like she is. So let's take this time to wrap up what it is that we want to talk about on episode 9. And I thought it was a really good episode.
That's really sad. So Stacey's not.
Yeah, she didn't get her call in, and I don't, you know.
She was probably on hold for 45 minutes.
Do you think? You know what? She was 41 minutes. Sorry, Stacy. So next week is the final episode. Should we do anything special? Should we dress up? Should we bring food? What do you want to do anything?
I think Steve Austin should come back in. I think maybe Candy and Woodle and all our favorites.
I don't know. Are they going to be nice?
Next
Are the
week
PPBoyz
should be
gonna be nice?
next week should be the pretzels and beer.
Or I think, you know, by next Sunday,
Hold
we
on.
already know
What do you
who's
mean by
won.
are we going to be nice? We've been mean to you the whole time?
Did I say me? Did I point out to me?
Well, when you're saying are we going to be nice, what are you implying?
Well, what do you think I'm implying?
I'm curious. I'm asking you the question. I deserve an answer.
No sledgehammers for you.
Yeah, no sledgehammers.
Oh, black market pens.
It's
Because
not
that
going to
was
be the
not
We have
nice.
banned those from the house.
That's not nice, young lady.
Well, it's
Not nice when you're saying, "Are we going to be nice?" when we've been
well,
nothing
you know,
but.
it's not
That's
nice.
not
It's
nice.
not nice to say that Steve is my
nice.
friend. Like he's
Not
like my
nice.
buddy. What was that about?
That's something bad.
Well, the way you said it. Well, I don't know. Ask Angelina. She's friends with him. What is that?
You are friends with him.
Yeah, don't underplay it, Paul. I just dished it back to you. That's all.
What?
You know what?
Anyway, I'm thinking on next week's show, wouldn't it
You
be
know
great
what?
if the winner came in and surprised us?
I think that
The
would be
winner
really
came
cool,
in.
actually, because
Whoever wins at home, right? We know you're watching, so if it's Bucket, if it's Misty, whoever it is, Lindsay, Cody, will you come in? Will you just fly to LA and surprise us and walk through the door?
You know what? I'm going to call my friend Steve Austin, and I'm going to get him to come back.
is it a 2-hour finale
Do it.
or 1 hour?
No, it's just one.
It's 1
Oh,
hour?
You mean what we're gonna watch?
No, yeah. Is it 2
I
hours
have no
next
idea.
week?
I have no idea.
I thought the finale is 2 hours. No.
That would be.
I thought there were
That would be
2
fun.
weeks left. Shows what I
Okay,
know.
so
I'm only here 1 more week.
okay,
Oh, gee.
we're gonna wrap up the show. And let's talk about where we can find everybody because I know the PPBoyz have a big, a lot of stuff going on television right now.
I'll start. I'm friends with Steve Austin.
You are, and you've got numbers.
We text. He's very sweet. I'll be around Steve's house watching it with his wife.
Oh my God, that would be so fun. And then what about you guys? Where can we find you?
Patrik Simpson is my Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And August 7th, we have another show coming out, Raising Fame, on TLC, right after Honey Baby.
Oh my God, he was on Good Morning America while we were in New York City.
I cannot cannot wait to watch you guys in another show. My goodness.
Oh, hold on. Angelina hasn't seen the last one yet. We'll have to catch her up.
Wait a minute. You guys, without a doubt, are television gold. My name's Little Egypt, and my husband, Mike, and I are friends with Steve Austin as well.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay? Thank you so much for joining us today, and we will see you next week for the finale.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.